Well, the DA has sent a plan to government about reducing the cost of living and the price of food. Food prices have risen sharply in many parts of the country, or all over the country, and many people are now, in fact, having to cut down or simply battling to feed their families month to month. Let's talk about this DA proposal with the party's Shadow Minister for Social Development, Bridget Masango. A very good afternoon to you, ma'am. Thank you so much for being with us. For those who've not seen it, sum up very briefly what the plan or the proposal is and what you think it would achieve.
Right. Thank you so much, Thembekile. The plan is we have been inundated, like you would have as a media, with statistics that are coming out of the aftermath of COVID-19, with statistics that say that people in South Africa, for example, a statistic that shocked me was the one of 81% of people in South Africa have decided to cut down on meals, or on at least one meal. That is because they cannot afford the high prices of food. And then, of course, we know that since 2017, we have a sustainable, sadly, statistic of 27% of children in South Africa are stunted. That is alarming, and that is actually, concerning. So what we have done as the Democratic Alliance is to send a plan, because we want to also, not just complain about what's happening, but also give, solutions that we have. So we've sent a plan to the president. The DA leader has sent a plan to the president to urgently reduce the cost of living and the cost of food. We have 5 items that we are proposing as possible solutions, with the first one, of course, being the cutting of fuel taxes and levies to lower the cost of transport, also to reallocate the 50 million rand that was sent to Cuba to feed the hungry people. We are saying we have hungry people in South Africa. Can that money be used locally to feed the people that are hungry? We know that there are programs that are at the moment happening, such as your SRD grant, but we're saying that people, this 81% and the 41% of people do not have money to put food on the table on a daily basis, is the estimation. We are saying also, please review the import tariffs on some food items so that, to drop, because dropping tariffs on pasta and certain chicken categories, such as chicken carcasses, will have a negligible impact on the fiscus, but a large impact on the poorest households. So those are the things, Thembekile, that we are saying the president can consider in his plans, or in his list of solutions that he is considering to turn the situation around for especially the poor people.
Well, in July, you may recall, the Minerals Minister, Bridget Masango, had in fact published in the Government Gazette announcing basically, asking for comment on a proposal to introduce a price cap for 93-octane fuel, right? Is that not sufficient? There's also an ongoing conversation about, indeed, reworking the calculation of the fuel price. Is that not perhaps a quicker way to do it versus complete deregulation?
No, we are saying that we are actually augmenting, if you like. We are saying that the lowering of the cost of transport would enable people to put more food, because when the minister did that, it is something that needs to be still, to have comments on it, to have people that will comment on it. We are saying there is an immediate and urgent need to do things that can be done without having to go through any red tape of sorts. And we are saying if you cut the taxes and levies to the fuel taxes and levies, you will immediately cut cut the cost of transport, because that is what people are using to go to look for work, to go to school, to go, whatever people do, they are using transport, and that is what would actually save some money or put some money aside for people to be able to buy food with the rest of the...
What about, for instance, talking about transport costs, right? The majority of people in this country actually rely on public transport, but as things stand, most of them rely on taxis, yet taxis are not subsidized by government at all. That's been an ongoing conversation for years. It's yet to actually happen. Why not support something such as that? In fact, when you look more long-term, because the reality is, for many years to come, taxis are still going to carry the bulk of South Africans to and from work, school, and the rest of it.
That is very true, Thembekile, because, as you know, our trains have almost come to a standstill. And so commuters will then turn to taxis. This is why we are saying there is a link between the cutting of fuel taxes and levies to the money that people pay on taxi fares. That on an immediate basis, because all the plans that we have sent to the Honourable President are the plans that are immediate. We are saying that let the discussions and the conversations and anything else that is happening continue, but on an immediate basis. If you did this, it would turn things around immediately, so that we can avert the hunger and the poverty that people in this country, the majority, in fact, of people in this country are under at the moment.
You've also spoken to us about that 50 million rand donation by South Africa to Cuba, which you believe that if that was directed to the domestic poor population, would assist to feed many hungry South Africans. I would suggest that nothing is going to turn on that, because government is in fact defending that program as far as court as things stand in a case brought against AfriForum. So as far as immediate interventions go, it's very unlikely to happen.
I know. You know what, Thembekile, what we are doing is to say, here are the things that if they were done now, they would save the situation. It is up to government to then use those things. This is why we would like as many members of the public as possible to know about this, so that if they do anything that they can do, if they want to petition the president, they will know the things that have been researched, that have been properly thought out and calculated and things like that. But I cannot agree with you more to say there are things that the government seems not to want to move an inch on, including the 50 million rand. But it is among a list of things that we are putting on the table of the president to say, please consider these things. What I think I also left out, Thembekile, was the issue of reviewing the list of the zero-rated food items, and to say that also that would help, so that more items can be added on that list. But I totally agree with you that the issue of, especially the issue of the 50 million rand is, as you say, has been taken to court and things like that. But it's among a list of things that we are saying, if this cannot happen, can this please be done, so that we really save a dire situation here.
Bridget Masango, a pleasure to speak to you, ma'am. Thank you for your time.